It's a beautiful Australian morning. The flowers are blooming, the birds are singing, and... What was that? Is that a chainsaw you just heard? Nope, it was just the song of the lyrebird, nature's most complicated songwriter. By imitating other birds, animals, sound effects, and even humans, the lyrebird sings a weird and beautiful song to its one true love. But it's not over until the lyrebird sings, here in Life, Death, and Taxonomy.
Welcome back to Life, Death, and Taxonomy. It's 30 minutes of interesting animal info for you. We're hot and ready.
30 minutes of interesting animal intro.
Yeah, and I'm Joe.
And I am Carlos.
And today we're talking about a fancy bird with 1,000 words for romance.
Sure does.
But more on that later. Sure does it do.
But yes, it's the lyrebird.
That's right.
Otherwise known as, and I got some doozies for this one. I actually came up with quite a few, but I'm going to narrow it down to these three.
Is one of them the feathered fibber?
No.
Because it's a lyrebird?
Come on, you're just taking the fire right
Really?
out
Did
from
I steal one of your jokes? Okay, I'll cut it out.
The first one is the ditto bird. Okay, that's, like a dodo bird, ditto bird.
Uh-huh.
The second one is liar pants on Friarbird, which we'll talk about later because it can imitate the Friarbird. And the third one is the avian you can do, I can do better bird.
That was a Bob's Burgers burger-like level pun.
Yeah, I liked it. The throwaways were the mimic master and the insufferable imitator, but those were just alliterations. Other than that, not very clever.
Alrighty.
But it's also called the Warringurong, the Woo Rail, and the Buln by Australian Aborigines.
Nice. Excellent.
But
cool.
So we know what everybody calls it at this point. All the various terms that people call it. But what do scientists call it?
Well, the science community has a specific set of names for it that we like to call its taxonomy, or more specifically, its nomenclature. Mm-hmm. You're about to find out what that is. The kingdom, you know it, you love it, you're in it. Animalia.
Mm-hmm.
Phylum, Chordata.
Same, know it, love it, in it.
Yep. Class, Aves.
Nah,
you're not in that.
I lost it.
Because it's birds.
It's what?
It's birds. It's birds. Order, Passeriformes. That's crows.
Passeriformes.
It's crows and blue jays and peacocks and...
I think it's the largest order of birds.
I'm going to name them all. Blackbirds. Actually, I'll stop there.
Okay, good. I was already sweating.
They're in the family Menuridae.
Ew. Menuridae?
Yeah. Genus, Menura.
Ugh, even grosser.
And the species is Menura novaehollandiae.
That is the longest species name I've ever seen.
Yeah, usually like the order or the genus is long, but Novae Hollandae.
Hollandaise.
Hollandae.
Die.
DEA.
I bet you it's Die.
Probably.
Nova
anyway,
Hollandae.
It was discovered by a man named Latham, or maybe a woman. But it was in 1801.
Nice. Back when Australia was invented.
Yeah. Would you like to know where they come from? Or where did they go?
Cotton Eye
Joe?
Cotton Eye Joe? You being Cotton Eye Joe?
Uh-huh.
Sure. Where did they come from or go? Either one. I don't care.
We've mentioned they come from Australia. They like to live in the rainforests of New South Wales and southeast Queensland. Today, though, they can be found in Tasmania and national parks around Melbourne.
If I ever go to Australia, I'm going to have to look for these guys. Because they are cool, and so is Australia.
They spend most of their time on the ground, so they prefer bushland and forest foliage.
Me too.
Same, yeah. Now, you've heard about where they're from and where they fit in taxonomy. Mm-hmm. What do they look like?
Yeah.
What could they look like?
A bird?
They do look like a bird. There's not gonna be any surprises there.
Beaks and feathers and stuff, right?
They have one beak each,
Oh.
yes.
Oh, okay.
Two halves of a beak they can open, like your typical bird. But lyrebirds are passeriformes of considerable stature, with brown, gray, and pale blue plumage.
I saw they were pheasant-sized.
They are pheasant-sized, with longish legs and large rake-like toes. That's important.
For the toes?
Yeah, because that's how they find food. They like to rake leaves and stuff.
Okay.
They rake leaves, yeah.
That's
Just in time for fall.
It's very neat of them.
It is very neat. It's cool that they do it, and also neat.
Yeah, so it works on both levels.
They have small J-ish heads.
What?
A head is similar to a J.
What? It looks like the letter J?
No, a blue Jay.
Oh!
A Jaybird.
Okay, gotcha. Understand.
And these heads sit atop long necks. Finally, they have magnificent tail feathers that males use to attract females, like it's the first week of fall and their plumes are pumpkin spiced.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah. They have two broad guard feathers, bookended with 12 lacy wisp plumes.
And there's some really ornate looking feathers, too.
Yeah. It's peacockish.
Yeah.
Not quite full peacock, but it's peacockish.
Adjacent,
Yeah.
I would say.
Yeah, definitely. It's definitely better than a turkey, but not as good as a peacock in terms of ornateness.
Turkey's got some nice plumage.
They have good colors, but
kind
they don't
of
have as many intricate patterns.
No, you're right.
But I feel like we need to be more specific than pheasant size, because who knows what a pheasant size is?
We're about to, I suppose.
We are about to, because the size brings us to the listener's favorite part of the show. The part of the show which you, listener, can submit your own intro to. All you have to do is send you yelling or singing or doing something to convey the words measure up in your own stylings. And send that to ldtaxonomy@gmail.com.
You can do it really easily by using the voice memo app on your iPhone if you have one, and you can just record yourself, and then it just gives you the option to email, and then you can email to ldtaxonomy@gmail.com, and then you're done.
Yeah, you can do it right now. Pause the episode, pull over.
Pull over. I can't emphasize that enough.
Send it on over. We'll put some reverb on it. It'll be real nice.
If you liked last week's, because last week's was adorable. I can't imagine a person who wouldn't like it. So if you're one of those people that liked it, then send in your own.
We don't have one this week. We have to do it ourselves because the first time we ever announced this was the last episode.
Yeah, and we're recording this
which came out
today.
Yeah.
We're ahead of the curve though.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah. We're ahead of the J-shaped head. Anyway, the listener's best loved part of the show. Say it with me now. 1, 2, 3. Measure up. That had like a fanfare type of like harmony.
Like da 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 da.
Yeah.
Measure up.
All right. So let's talk about their length. Males are 89 centimeters or 3 feet. How many lyrebirds go into the height of the seminal Hard Rock guitar-shaped hotel in Hollywood, Florida, upon its completion?
Ooh, that's a cool looking building.
Yeah.
Is it done? Or is it as tall as it's going to be?
As tall as it's going to be. I don't think it's done. It's close. It might be the height it's going to be.
It looks like that might be like a 20-story building.
Do you want a hint, though?
No, I don't. It's not going to help. Actually, last time, your hint was hurtful.
No, this time
it hurt my ability to figure this out.
This actually does give you some idea as to the size of the building. The hotel will have 150 square feet of convention space.
Okay.
You've also seen the building.
I have seen the building
in real life,
which helps a lot. I'm ignoring your hint and thinking about what I've seen. So I'm going to go with this 20-story thing because that seems good. Which would make it about 200 feet tall. If each story is 10 feet. And you said 3 feet for the lyrebird. So, doing in my head math would put it, I would say 70 birds.
That's good math, except for the fact that it's 450 feet tall.
Oh, man, that is a tall building for, like, South Florida.
Which makes it 154 birds.
Bummer. I did exactly half, almost.
Okay, let's move on to weight.
All right.
Not a terrible round. Let's see if you can pull ahead here. Superb lyrebirds, which is the one we're specifically talking about.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if we mentioned that.
I don't think we did.
That's the binomial name we said. There's another one called Albert's lyrebird.
Sure.
Yeah. But we're talking about the superb lyrebird, which is 2.1 pounds. How many lyrebirds go into the weight of a Fender Stratocaster, a.k.a. the modern lyre?
Ha! Is that really what it's called?
No. That's what I called it.
It'd be funny if Fender Stratocaster's like little tagline was the modern lyre. Not a lute. Don't get this confused with a lute. So Stratocasters they're on a little bit on the heavier side. They don't have a hollow body. Most of them don't. I would say they weigh like.
You know what? I need to give you a hint.
No, you don't.
I feel like
you don't.
This actually could. If you know anything about what I'm about to give you a hint about, this will help you with weight, with density and weight.
Density's not going to help me at all.
Strats bodies can be made out of alder, ash, poplar, or basswood.
Poplar?
The necks are made of maple.
Okay, good. Maple has a density of something else, which really helps.
I didn't give you the fretboard, so that's a variable.
That's usually rosewood.
Rosewood.
We know what that is.
Also, it could be ebony.
All right. I feel like 15 pounds is a good. It might be a little bit on the heavy side. Because it's weird, because I've held a Stratocaster before, and it's over my shoulders, which can bear a lot of weight.
Oh, sure.
Including 15 pounds.
Yeah.
And maybe even all the way up to 25 pounds sometimes when I'm feeling spry.
But you've held it in your hand to pick it up.
Yeah, but I haven't, like, tested it. Usually I just immediately put the strap over my shoulder. So I think maybe 15 pounds is a good middle ground there. And you said, what, 2.1?
2
pounds?
Yep.
So what? That puts it at just about 7, more than 7 lyrebirds.
Most Stratocasters are 8 pounds.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so that's about 4 birds.
I thought I was a lot stronger than I am.
Maybe you have a heavy one.
What is this guitar, 15 pounds? It's just 8 pounds, Carlos.
Do you have a Strat?
No, but a lot of my friends have had a Strat.
Well, that's it.
Okay, so that was kinder and also gentler. Thank you for not having me measure the depth of the atmosphere.
Astronomical things. Well, it's time for some fast facts, which are the majority of my content right now, so it's not that fast. Unlike our friends the Hoatzin, they are shy and difficult to get close to, like an angsty human teenager. They are good hiders and will seek cover and freeze until danger is past. Firefighters seeking shelter in mine shafts report sharing tunnels with lyrebirds.
That'd be kind of cute.
Maybe, because I couldn't confirm that.
But it'd be cute to like, oh man, there's a forest fire and a bunch of firefighters are in this mine shaft, and suddenly like a bunch of like little birds come trotting in going like, can we share this with you?
And they say yes. And
then the lyrebird looks at them and goes, yes. And like, wow, that was very interesting. And the lyrebird goes, wow, that was very interesting. And they're like, stop copying me. And stop copying me.
Speaking of fire, lyrebirds help keep the forest safe from brush fires.
By starting controlled burns.
No. Before singing, they clear away dry foliage to make a little stage.
Me too.
Which makes fire more difficult to spread, A. So if you got a fire over here on one side of the stage, it's not going to spread to the other side of the stage through dirt.
Impossible.
It might go around, but it's neither here nor there. Because they also create little safe zones for critterinos during a fire. So if you have a fire, you just go to the main stage, Lyrebird stage, and just, there's going to be no fire there.
Just like the Madison Square Garden of Lyrebird concertos.
Yes, except for it's the only place that isn't garden. It's just plain dirt.
Yeah, it's the opposite of garden.
Yeah. Madison usually circle, not garden.
Perfect. I was very close.
They eat insects, spiders, worms, and lizards. And we mentioned before that they do this by raking leaves to find goodies in dead foliage.
My dog likes that exact same menu.
Insects, spiders, worms, and lizards.
Mm-hmm.
And I assume kibble and anything that falls on the floor.
He definitely pursues the lizards and worms with more fervor than the kibble.
I'm assuming this is Morph.
Yeah, my little Jack Russell Terrier.
Okay. Yeah, he likes it to move. Maybe you got to move around the kibble.
Just get it moving. Get some motion in there.
Yeah, get this rustled up. So they can live. They're pretty long lived. They can live for about 30 years.
Wow.
Yeah, female, but their breeding cycles are also really long. Females only start breeding after 5 years. Males start after 6 to 8 years. So your first boyfriend as a female lyrebird is usually an older boy.
Okay.
So males defend breeding territories, and they can have as many as 8 females in their territory. After that, the Australian government cracks down on polygamy. They must, right? Because why would anyone say exactly 8 females? Up to 8. That's so very specific.
These are very intelligent birds, and they probably have their own polygamy laws.
So they clear stages for courtship displays that consist of bare soil mounds. But Albert's lyrebirds can lay sticks because they believe that wood flooring helps resale value.
But then you just find out it's linoleum.
Yeah,
they've been pulling one over on you.
They've been pulling on over on the ground.
Yeah, so
linoleum, that is.
This is very bowerbirdish
behavior.
Yeah,
building a thing and then dancing and singing and stuff.
Yeah. The taxonomy titan.
Well,
bowerbird.
These guys don't focus as much on decor.
Yeah,
they focus a little bit more on acoustics.
They have other attributes that they want to flaunt.
Yeah.
Although they do have the plumage.
That's true.
So we were saying before with the bowerbirds that maybe they build houses because their plumage isn't as brilliant, or maybe their plumage isn't as brilliant because of they're building houses instead. But the lyrebird has a magnificent song and great plumage and a little hardwood floors.
Or just dirt mounds. That's
not as impressive.
No. And it's the one we're talking about.
Okay.
The old superb one.
Oh, well, that's not very superb of it. Is it time for the major fact?
It is time.
So this is why you came and tuned into this episode, not to hear Measure Up, but to hear the major fact. So
debatable.
What?
Listener polls would disagree, but
one from my own listener polls, I just don't believe in Twitter.
These birds do. Tell us about that.
All right, let's listen to them tweet. The lyrebird has arguably the most complex song in the animal kingdom. More complex than Beethoven's Fifth or Bohemian Rhapsody.
I disagree.
Really? Does Bohemian Rhapsody have chainsaw sounds in it? I didn't think so. I don't even consider a song good unless it has a chainsaw sound effect somewhere embedded there.
It's a good thing you live in like the modern era then.
Yeah, it's like one of those recording robot toucans that you can get at Cracker Barrel, where you can just say anything into it and it'll repeat it back. The lyrebird is very similar to this.
If you're not familiar with Cracker Barrel, then you're probably not from the South.
Is it only in the South?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, a homestyle restaurant that people
with a country shop in front
that people only visit when they're on their way to things.
It's popular along highways,
and it has rocking chairs out front that you can buy for like $1,000. Anyway, so in the wild, like you said, it clears a space on the forest floor and begins his song, to attract a female. And he'll imitate over 20 different species of birds, including the Friarbird, liar, pants on Friarbird, and the taxonomy titan, the satin bowerbird, and also the laughing kookaburra, which you can hear now. So even the original birds who make these calls are tricked into thinking that they're hearing this call. from one of their kin, when really they're just hearing it from the lyrebird. This is all thanks to an incredibly complex syrinx, S-Y-R-I-N-X, like a larynx, but a syrinx. It's the organ at the base of a bird's trachea that controls sound through vibrations. And it's the most complex in all of the passeriformes, whatever. So it can imitate all these different kinds of birds, but that's not all. The lyrebird can also imitate some other Aussie animals as well, including the koala and the dingo. And I don't know what either of those two animals sound like. And I couldn't find a recording of it, but I did find a lot of recordings of other things.
I imagine the dingo sounds like a dog.
Yeah, like a bark, but maybe sometimes like hyenas look like dogs. They're not dogs at all, but they look like dogs.
But dingoes are more dogs than...
Yeah, but it's just something that looks like a dog can also make a weird, different sound. Who knows?
Yips and yelps. And howls, maybe. If we're lucky.
But here's the crazy part. Captive lyrebirds can imitate almost anything they hear. There's a lyrebird named Chook from the Adelaide Zoo. And what we've done is, we've invited Chook into the studio with us. Hey there, Chook. How about you imitate some of the things you know how to imitate? How about a camera shutter? A car alarm? Could you do some hammers? Maybe some nails? I bet you can't do a saw. An electric drill? A chainsaw? How about a chainsaw that's having a little bit of difficulty starting up? Here's the coup de grace. I bet you can't do any human sounds. Do you even know your own name? Thanks, Chook.
That was excellent. Excellent work.
It's very excellent. Yeah, so it's like Stomp. Like his song is made up of just like construction sounds. But yeah, once they did a bunch of construction work at the Adelaide Zoo, and he picked up all of these sounds from
much to the chagrin of all the employees there.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're finally done with construction, and yet we hear it in our dreams. But if I had a lyrebird, I wouldn't name him Chook. I would name him Lyrebird. He'd be Lyle. So obviously we didn't actually bring Lyrebird into our deluxe studio. But I will link to the video that I got these recordings from on Facebook and Twitter, and also on ldtaxonomy.com. There's a recording in the Australian National Film and Sound Archive of Lyrebird imitating an electronic shooting game, which I assume is like...
Pew, pew, pew.
Yeah, pew, pew. And a ringtone. Like a mobile ringtone. It has
also electronic shooting game? Yeah. All right, Grandpa.
That's what it said. Electronic shooting game, and I couldn't find out like what kind of like Call of Duty?
Or like Asteroids.
Yeah. One of those newfangled electronic bullet propulsion systems simulators.
Bullet propulsion simulator. That's good.
Yep.
I like that.
The lyrebird has also been known to imitate barking dogs and crying babies.
Same.
I couldn't find any recordings of that. Really, you?
Oh, sure.
Oh, that's disturbing the peace. You shouldn't.
Well, if they can, I can.
Really? That's how that works?
Oh, yeah.
Even the polygamy part?
No, the Australian government wouldn't have it.
Nope, but you're not in Australia or in America where it's...
Also illegal.
I'm just going to leave that. There's even an Australian website where you can create artificial voices, and it's called, you guessed it, lyrebird.ai.
Nice.
And so basically this bird is a veritable Michael Winslow.
Oh, yeah.
So put this bird in Police Academy and Police Academy 2.
And Police Academy like 6.
Yeah. No, just the first two. After that, it just goes straight to DVD, and Lyrebird doesn't want to have anything to do with that. Chuck isn't about it. So, do you have anything else?
No, except for no.
No, except for no. So, for you out there in podcast land, warm up your syrinx. Learn a couple of guitar chords and sing a new song like the Lyrebird does in Life, Death, and Taxonomy. Hi everyone, Carlos here with some announcements and humble requests. First, Joe and I have been recently guests on the Play Comics podcast with Chris, where we talk about the superhero The Tick, which works into our whole animal shtick, which rhymes. Second, I'm sure you noticed we haven't been putting the Brain Trust tag at the end of our episodes, and that's because we have struck out on our own. Be proud of us. Thirdly, we have a lot of fun on the show, and we want to spread that fun to as many people as possible. And for that, we need you. So go ahead and please open up your podcasting app and leave us a review. It doesn't have to be long. In fact, it doesn't even need to have words. It just needs to be 5 stars. That last part isn't true. But if you like what you hear, you'd really be helping us out by leaving some stars for others to see how interesting we are. Also, the best way to spread the interestingness around is through word of mouth. Tell your friends, family, coworkers, or even passersby on the street about our show and how they can learn all kinds of animal trivia for absolutely free. We do the show for free. Go tell people about our free, interesting animal info. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for listening, and have a wild day. This is going to take a little bit of editing. Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Yeah.